Thank you, Honorable In Lee, and our host, In Young. I am honored to address this esteemed gathering at the Beijing Forum on Swift Response to Public Complaints 2024. First and foremost, I'm heartfelt thanks go to the organizers at the distinguished Renmin University for inviting me to this prestigious event and affording me this amazing, invaluable opportunity to learn and to share my perspective. Upon my initial visit to Beijing, a city that seamlessly blends history with modernity, I am profoundly captivated by its unique charm. As the capital of the People's Republic of China, Beijing stands as a political hub, a cultural treasure, and a beacon of innovation in urban governance. It has relevance and lessons to be learned to cities around the world. In recent years, Beijing has exhibited remarkable vitality and proactive policies towards comprehensive socioeconomic development. It has skillfully balanced objectives of robust economic growth with objectives of climate stewardship. It has also skillfully balanced administrative efficiency and competency with feedback mechanisms from citizens to make such authorities more accountable. Improvements in urban governance are vital around the world. They affect not only citizens' quality of life, but also their trust in institutions. The more they feel heard and the more they witness accountability in practice, the more they will get engaged and exhibit trust in government. The Beijing Swift Response to Public Complaints Reform Initiative serves as an indispensable cornerstone, building such trust in urban governance and enhancing citizens' sense of belonging and satisfaction. Through this reform, Beijing has successfully established a transparent interaction mechanism between the government and citizens, igniting their enthusiasm and activity in practicing in urban governance, and advancing evidence-based policymaking and democratization at the same time. But let us recognize together that urban governance does not exist in a vacuum. Indeed, not every development challenge can be addressed at a city level or even a state level. Take climate change, for example, as a challenge to humanity and our planetary system that requires global collective action. A lot remains to be done in this area, specifically at the level of global institutions, mainly within the current UN system. We need a world order that is capable of addressing the 21st century challenges, not the 20th century challenges from 1945. In a reimagined global governance system, strengthening trust and corporate cooperation among nations to jointly address global challenges is key to achieving global peace, stability, and inclusive and sustainable development. Because of these global and to local connections, urban governance needs to be seen within a nested governance structure at the neighborhood, at a city level, at regional level, national level, and global level. Only when responsibilities are assigned at each of these levels to internalize externalities and reflect political and cultural uniqueness of the population, only then is governance optimized and nested from the local all the way to the global. And this brings up the issue of the division of labor between local and central government and between nation states and the global order. This is a topic that is dear to my heart. I'm very interested in this from an academic perspective as well as from a policy perspective. and we'll be addressing these issues in more detail in this conference. In academia, I lead a study group on national versus global public goods. It explores why political systems, both democratic and autocratic, tend to underproduce public goods such as education, health, and infrastructure, what is very often referred to as short-termism in political science, and how to address that through governance reform. At the global level, producing global public goods is even much harder, as it has all the myopia associated with short-termism at the local level, but with the additional absence of adequate global governance that is legitimate, binding, and accountable. During my tenure as Prime Minister of Jordan, and under the directives of His Majesty King Abdullah II, I worked tirelessly on two fronts. One was transferring more authority from the central level of government to the local level of government. And the second was putting in place mechanisms to enhance citizens' feedback and government accountability. My government amended the law on local government, and we established an online platform for citizen complaints that made it possible for citizens to ask questions, make suggestions, or report graft or corruption. And in that regard, I was really amazed by watching the movie yesterday about SRPC, which was such a realistic movie about the documentary, about the challenges. It was not just celebrating success as if success comes in one shot. It was about the learning process that happened in China and in Beijing with this pioneering example. To me, it reminded me that we can break vicious cycles that are based on mistrust, and we can replace these vicious cycles with virtuous cycles that start with incentivized administration, disclosure of information, engagement with the public, accountability of officials, and maybe most importantly, learning from each cycle to improve the incentives and to improve the governance. So this is an ongoing process. There is no ready-made piece that can be taken from one government to another. It's something that we build through practice, and this was shown very clearly in the movie. So in Jordan, we tried to do all of this. We developed a standard operating procedures to make that citizens' feedback heard within 48 hours and within 2 weeks with resolved cases, and a customer satisfaction form that citizens fill, and remaining cases had to be brought to a higher level of government. Engagement by citizens was at the beginning very limited. Citizens' trust that the government was serious was low. But with time, and as they realized they got responses and their cases were resolved, their engagement grew exponentially. The feedback we received was very rich and allowed me, as a Prime Minister, to hold various ministers and authorities accountable for their performance. Ladies and gentlemen, urban governance, as we all agree, I think, is a complex and challenging task that requires us to continuously explore, embrace innovation, and seek new solutions and pathways. In this process, strengthening international cooperation and exchanges, as well as sharing governance experiences and wisdom, becomes particularly important. At the global level, building a more equitable and mutually trusting system is crucial for achieving common development and promoting the modernization of global governance. I firmly believe that through in-depth exchange at this forum, we will gain more valuable insights and inspiration and jointly open a new chapter in this field, contributing to empowered communities with a shared future for mankind. Finally, I would like to express my sincere gratitude once again to the organizers for providing us with such a valuable platform. I also wish Beijing to continue success on this path of swift response to public complaints, reform, and towards its effort to share experiences with academics and policymakers from around the world, towards empowered communities and an inclusive and sustainable future for humanity. Thank you very much.